Hey and welcome to MFFLtv. I'm your host Dylan and currently in lockdown in Sydney, so thought I'd come out to the great outdoors for this video. But more importantly, let's talk Mavs basketball. I know a lot of Mavs fans are underwhelmed with the free agency period, myself included. I think we still need to do a lot more. However, I'm going to try and be here to, bring a bit of optimism, hopefully some hope to the Mavs nation. Reggie Bullock and Sterling Brown, not what we thought we were going to get, but I'm here to say, I think they're going to be very good pieces for the team next year, and they're going to be really exceptional in the role that they're going to play. Looking like Reggie Bullock's maybe going to be a starter, and Sterling Brown someone that comes off the bench, and I think both people are going to be very key pieces to this team, and maybe not going to go as far as Cuban and say we've considerably improved, but I will say that, we have improved, and I think both of them are good additions. So let's go straight into it, analysing Reggie Bullock. So, last season with the Knicks, averaged 10.9 points, 3.4 assists, 1.5 assists, and 40.9 3-point percentage. The 3-point percentage looks good. The stats besides that, not too crazy, nothing you haven't seen before. But I want to try and go a bit more in depth, see where he's making his shots from, what was he good at last season. So just looking a bit more in depth, most of his shots were catch and shoot shots. He had 5.6 attempts from 3 there. And during that, he shot it at a 42.5% clip, which is amazing. I think that's really good. And, as we dive into that a bit more, how does that translate? So, a good chunk of his shots were, when he was 4 to 6 feet open, and he hit about 35% of those, which is okay. That's definitely one area of improvement. But when he was wide open, he had 6+ more feet from the opposing defender. He shot it at 46.9%. And I think that is amazing, and that is why he's going to be a huge addition to this team. But I don't want to just say that there. I want to put it in context a bit. So let's try and relate it to some other Mavs players and just see how that compares. So, when looking at it, I just took 3 players for the Mavs that consistently shoot a lot of threes. Starting with Finney Smith, you see he takes about 5 threes a game at 39.2%. Maxi Kleber has 4.2 threes at 41%. Porzingis takes 6 threes at 37.6%. And Bullock takes 6.1 threes at 40.9%. So he takes the most threes and is only 0.1% off the best of the lot. So you see Maxi edges him out by 0.1%. So, he really competes with everyone else shooting-wise, but does take adequately more than Maxi and Finney Smith, and is right around what Porzingis does, just at a higher clip. Now looking at catch and shoot shots. So what sort of shots are these guys taking? So Finney Smith has 4.5 of those a game at 39.5%. Maxi has 4 of those at 42.1%. Porzingis 5.4 catch and shoots at 38.2%. And Bullock takes 5.6 3-point attempts from catch and shoot, shooting 42.5%. So that is one thing he excels at, and he's a sharpshooter, and he does that better than anyone else at the team while also taking considerably more. He takes about what Porzingis does again, but just at a better clip. But this is where he really blows everyone out. So as you can see, when he's 6+ feet, so when he's wide open, he shoots it much better than all the other players, beating Kleber by 5.2%, if my maths is right. So he's a really lockdown shooter when he's open and you can get him the ball. And why is this important? It's because looking at each player in our team, a lot of them get a lot of wide open 3-point looks. Now, why is that? Well, when you play with Luka, you're just going to get those huge looks. Luka's able to get everyone the ball. He makes it easy for everyone. That's why you see all of those players having significantly high amounts of completely open shots a game. And I think Reggie Bullock is going to really succeed from that. You saw he shot 46.9% on those threes. I'm pretty confident in saying when he comes to Dallas, Doncic is going to be able to get him a lot more open looks. If he can hit it at that same clip, he's going to be a very good addition. And I could see him averaging more points and really just being a consistent three-point shooter and a lockdown three-point shooter for the Mavs for 3 years to come. And I think he's, brilliant signing for that reason. If you're looking at highlights, he also does relocate a lot as well, moves off the ball. So if you can move off the ball and get open, Luka will feed him, Luka's vision. So I think that's a very good addition. I think he's the best three-point shooter we got. However, is he better than maybe the other three-point shooter we got? So let's take a look at Sterling Brown and see what he can do for this team. So, as you can see, Sterling Brown off the bench for Houston averaged 8.2 points, 4.4 rebounds, and 1.4 assists off a game, which off the bench is, fantastic in its own right, very productive, sort of what you're looking for the bench. If you can, even bring that up a bit closer to double digits, that'd be perfect. Let's take a bit of a more in-depth look at his stats as well as a shooter to see where he can really excel for the Mavs. So he takes 4.1 three-point attempts a game, and he shoots it at 42.4%. So another lethal shooter. I think he's going to have a green light off that bench. If he's in there with Luka a lot, I think he's just going to get fed great shots, hit them at a consistent rate. So as a catch-and-shoot three-point shooter, he takes about 3.4 a game, shooting 41.4%. Again, very good. Can't complain with that. However, one thing he can do that maybe others can't is maybe a pull-up three-point game. He did take just over half a game, but he shot it at 46.9%. And when you look at his stats, weirdly, although the sample size wasn't really there, so you don't want to look into it too much. If he took less than 2 or more than 3 dribbles a game, his shooting was immense. It was 44% plus, and he shot about 50% when he took 7 plus dribbles. Although he just didn't take enough to really consider those stats, that's why I didn't include him. But just, maybe that's something he has in his game that he can keep developing. And if he's someone that can put the ball on the floor and hit threes, that's really taking our offense to the next level, just that versatility. So what's interesting, looking at his stats, he got more shots when he was open, considered to being wide open, where wide open is 6+ feet from your opposing defender. So when he was 4 to 6 feet, he had 2.3 three-point attempts per game, and he shot 47.5%. That is immense. That is very good. That's among the elite in the NBA. And I think as well, if he can get more of those, I think with Luka, like I always say, he's going to get more attempts. And I think that's just going to only get better. And so when he was wide open with 6+ feet space, he had only 1.4 three-point attempts and shot 43.8%. And based on his other shooting stats, I'm very confident in predicting if he gets more shots per game when he's wide open, that number's just going to go up. I think, when you get 1.4 of those shots a game, sometimes you don't have that rhythm of being when you're wide open, so you're sort of used to having someone close out at you. But I think as he gets more consistent and more comfortable being wide open, he's going to really knock that down at a higher rate. And I think, again, like Reggie Bullock, he's a very good three-point shooter and he's really going to help this team. Now, I know neither of them are the playmaker we've been looking for, but just as key rotation players, key role players, I think they're both going to do a very good job and on any given night can just light it up and change the game. However, it's not just their offense which dictates them being very good pickups. Their defense is also very good, and I'm going to get into that. So taking a look up here, Reggie Bullock last season had a 107.2 defensive rating, which again is way above average. Average is about, I believe, 111. You don't want to look into it too much, but it does give you a rough estimation of where they rank in the league, which is why I think you can sort of take a look at it. You don't want to take it out of context too much and say he's one of the best defenders in the NBA, but there's some merit to the statistic, and it does suggest he's a significantly above average defender, which is why I think he gets labelled with that 3 and D, and why I think it's appropriate. And looking at Sterling Brown last season, 110.8, again above average, but the season before, he did play a few less minutes, but he had a 101.7 defensive rating, which is brilliant. I think that's really good. I would assume it's one of the best in the NBA that year. I haven't looked into it yet. But if he can bring back that sort of level of defense for this Mavs team, I think for the amount we're paying for him, he's going to be a very good pickup and a gem. So I think both of these players are going to have a very good season with the Mavs. I think, with the additional space that they're going to receive, they're going to flourish here. And I think if they bring energy, the fans are going to love them and they're going to feed off that. And I think they're both huge pickups. Don't get me wrong, I think we still need more. But I think we definitely have improved, and I think they're both really good pickups, and I'm excited to see them in a Mavs jersey. However, let me know what you think. Do you think this is enough? Do you think it's good pickups at all? I always love to hear what you guys have to say, so please comment. Also, make sure to like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and I will see you on the next video.